Welcome back, everyone, to Living Life Holographic. I'm Inu Guy.
And I'm Chiron.
And today we're going to be talking about some Magic the Gathering, as well as a few other things of tournament, cards, how we craft our decks, and how we use those. Yes.
We got a lot on the board tonight. So we're going to talk about tournaments in Magic, casual play in Magic, and how you go about building your deck for either one. We're going to talk about tips, secrets, and things that I don't even know.
Right? That's why they call them secrets. Shh. Okay, sorry.
All right, first, let's dive right into tournaments.
I like this.
Have you ever played an actual tournament in Magic?
I have not played an actual tournament in Magic. I have done it in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Mm-hmm.
Why Yu-Gi-Oh?
It was my first time, and I thought I was pretty darn good at it. Turns out I suck.
Well, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very different than Magic. Magic is very different than Pokemon. And building a deck in every single TCG game is
a lot different than the majority of them.
Especially when... That's why, of course, your tournaments, you're only allowed to use, like, the newer sets.
Yeah, the more standard.
But in casual play, you'd go way back to anything and throw everything you want in your deck, and then you're just like...
I just look at the card and be like, this will definitely mess them up. They will never see this one coming.
You put so much illegal stuff in your deck, you get banned.
It's all banned cards in there, you know? I mean, I just think that
It's
maybe
just-
if I could just throw in like 500 banned cards and in
500?
Yeah, out of a 100 card deck, that maybe I could...
How about this? How about you make a deck with 100 straight Black Lotuses?
I think I could win.
It'd be the most expensive.
And then one
deck.
card. Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, no, my first tournament was actually Yu-Gi-Oh! It was back in high school. Yeah.
That
high
far?
School. Yeah, that far. My friends were like, well, it was like a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Back then. Or at least in my high school, there was just Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! People were just... Magic wasn't really a thing until like I got into senior. I started out with Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Okay.
And there was a lot of cards revolving around Blue Eyes White Dragon, or at least very few at the time. But to me, it was a lot. I had Burst Stream of Destruction. We had Flute of Summoning Dragons. Lord of D means Lord of Dragons. Lord of Dragons, by the way. No, doesn't mean that. But yeah, Lord of Dragons. Flute of Summoning Dragons, and then 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons in there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, with other dogs, Jesus, with other cards.
I'm making a Magic
revolving.
Dog deck right now.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I like enchantment decks or enchanted decks or with equipment or whatever Auroras,
Mm-hmm.
because like I have 2 of them. I have Dog Meat and then I have another one, and I'm really good at those decks. And
It's a casting director or something like that.
it's just with commander damage. You put so many equipments or enchantment creatures on on your commander, you can almost deal straight combat or enough commander damage in 1 or 2 turns to one opponent.
Yeah, he
And that's what
one-shotted me last time.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so difficult.
He was very proud of it too. He was just like, and Inukai. I'm like, hey, how's it going? No, I'm coming straight for you. Right there, I think it was what, 28 commander damage?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was around there. I mean, he only needed to hit me with 21, but he thought, you know what, why not add a few extra? And I was like, I like extra sauce. Go ahead and do
die,
it.
you son of a...
And he goes, dang it!
Well, the 2 things that make that great is if you have an enchantment or Aurora equipment that makes him indestructible, but on top of that you add another one that makes him unblockable, because then you can just bypass anything, go straight to the player. And then there's enchant creatures and Auroras that you get +1/+1 for every enchantment, either on the battlefield or that you control.
All that glitters.
I have both of them. And all of a sudden, that literally just gives your guy almost +10/+10 right out of the gate.
Yeah.
So
that was scary. That was really terrifying.
And these are pre-con decks that are just like unbelievably powerful from the get-go. Like you look at it and you go like, I don't really need to add much to this.
No, yeah, maybe what, 2-3 cards?
Yeah, because
Four at most.
sometimes you're like, well, I don't want to deal damage to myself. Click.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I'm not a black deck. I don't deal damage to myself to get value.
It's like, oh no, it's
Josh,
strong
like,
power.
I'm looking at you. I see you.
Hey, no name drop.
Sorry. I'm looking at you.
But back to tournaments.
Yeah. Do you think that deck would do well in a tournament? 1v1?
It does. Like, I mean, some decks can be more powerful with more opponents. Other decks can be more powerful 1v1. I think that deck could do well in both. It has its advantages of both.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you don't have 3 other people to stop it.
Yeah.
You only have 1 person to stop it. But then at the same time, if you have like the +1/+1 counter for each enchantment out on the battlefield, there's a lot less out there.
Yeah.
When you're only playing 1v1. And there's not that many commander tournaments as there are standard deck tournaments.
Is there actually a commander tournament?
There might be, but they might be store held. They're not really like officially functioned. You have to, for most of the tournaments around here, you basically draft tournaments.
Yeah.
You get like 6
Draft.
booster packs.
Standard tournament.
Yeah, and you build a deck. And I'm like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
Tournaments are really hard to do, but they're supposedly a lot of fun. I haven't done one yet, but I'm wanting to do one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to like find the right one just to jump into. And it's like you go by yourself, you sit down, and then you're like, okay,
I'll go with you. I'll support you.
yeah, if in the back you're not gonna join, you'll be like,
hit him directly. No, you're supposed to support me. Right. Hit him directly.
no, you just walk past them and look at their hand. You're like,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
or you're like,
He looks right behind.
you're like,
Don't do it. I think that honestly, when it comes to commander tournaments, though, you guys got to think of it this way. You gotta maybe I don't want to like sell people out on this, but like
you son of a.
right, like think about it like if we were to go to a tournament and we just said that we aren't friends.
What?
We could just gang up on people.
Oh, I see.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we could be like this, hey, Chiron, you want to split it 50-50? We can split the prizes 50-50. Easy, you're done.
Can we do that? Because I don't know how they set it up randomly of who you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
So if we go pretending not to be friends, they could just be like, all right,
I don't know you.
You 2 people are going to play against each other right away. And like, well, there goes our plan.
Rock, paper, scissors to see who goes into the next one.
The only thing you could do is if you both play other people in the beginning, you can come back and report to each other like, all right, if you play, oh wait, I beat that guy. He's out. Never mind. You're not going to see him.
I guess you go forward. To the next round.
The only way you can make it beneficial is if you get beaten and you go, that guy's an asshole.
Yeah, this guy plays blue and all counter spells. Watch out. You're in for a wild ride.
Play the counter. Well,
I honestly hate blue decks, but I crafted them so much now. Like literally, it became to a point for me that I did not like blue decks. I hated them, didn't like them, and then I decided, you know what? If you don't like them, join them. Maybe it's the opposite. If you can't beat them, join them, right?
Yeah.
So I decided to join that bandwagon, and boy, is it fun. It's fun to irritate your friends. It's fun to cause mayhem. It is fun to counter one spell, and then everyone goes like this, I'm going to play my soul.
why is it in slow motion?
Because that's exactly what's happening. Because an instant spell comes in and counters it right through.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how it went. I don't know.
When you're playing against a blue deck, you always have to be wary of that and like play something that you're like. You try to play as a trap card to make them play their like counter card, and then you're like, good. I didn't really care too much of that one as much as this one, and then you play the second one, and then they're like, oh man, unless they have 2 counter spells in their hand and they didn't tap anything to begin with, so then you have to double watch out because sometimes that happens a lot. I know this guy over here finds a way to always have 1 or 2 in his hand at all times.
Yeah, I gotta be safe. Okay.
I don't know how you do it every single time.
I gotta make sure.
I look at my hand, look at you, you're like, and then I'm like, I'm gonna play. No.
I know, it's like you test the waters.
I'm gonna play this. Okay, good.
Actually, I take it back. And then I just do this. No, I love how Magic is all about the emotions. You literally have to it's literally like poker. You literally just gotta fake it to make it. It is. It's just like,
you need to bluff a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta bluff a little bit. You gotta politic a little bit. I think honestly, between you and me, I have to politic a little bit more.
Yeah, you do.
Because I don't do it. Because to me, as a player, I don't care if I win or lose. I do aim to win, but if it doesn't work out, cool. I'm gonna just make sure that I just go, yeah, sure, go for it.
The next available tournament for the next set, we should do it. We should do it. And
you think so?
And we'll report back to the people.
Oh, that would be fun. Just to go ahead and see.
Yeah.
We could just speed through it, right? We'll just you could just see and record. Gosh, we really suck.
Well, we can't record the actual playing, but we can make an episode on the experience.
Yeah.
Maybe even try to film stuff while we're there, and then report back.
Yeah, we could do what Zulus. Zulus has a tournament.
Oh, they have tournaments every single new set, which is the perfect opportunity. Mon Horizon 3 is the next one, I believe.
Should we try that?
And that's a standard deck, so we should give that one a go. We go draft it, and then we see who wins. But every time you go and do the tournaments, if you sign up early enough, you get a promo. And then if you usually finish in the top 8 or 3 or whatever it is, you also get another promo.
Speaks to my collecting.
So you get a bunch of promos, but usually the promos you get in Magic at tournaments aren't worth as much as, say, Pokemon or Lorcana cards.
That's true.
The Stitch one for Lorcana tournament
just look at that.
Unbelievably expensive.
Yeah, it's going for $500
because it's one of the first biggest promos from a giveaway, and I think it was either the top 3 or I think it was the top 3.
It's in a golden he's in a
it's Rockstar Stitch.
Yeah,
and it's a goldish orange background, and it's an enchanted card, gorgeous card, but you only can get it by placing top 3 in tournaments, and those tournaments have already kind of ended. And because that's the first one, it's so expensive. But usually tournament cards in the beginning of a new series make them are worth the most. Like Pokemon, the early promos they gave away in tournaments are worth tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, the Pikachu ones too. Oh my goodness.
So that's why Magic is, it's still cool, but they're never usually worth as much as getting that fresh set. And Disney Lorcana is the new hit one, and I think Star Wars Unlimited is trying to also
go up there,
because it's the first Star Wars TCG game, and everyone's trying to get their hand in the ring. But we should definitely do that tournament, and move along in that regard. But let's wrap this one up, and then we'll continue talking about building decks.
Ooh, crafting and brewing
for casual and tournaments. Because now we talked about tournaments, and we're going to talk about how our strategy and how do you guys build your own deck. So, have you guys done any tournaments? If so, what was your favorite one, or card game, place, or whatever? Just let us know in the comments below. Give us a follow. Like that bell. Like the bell. Not click on it.
Don't even lick the bell. Just like it.
I didn't say lick.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Don't even lick the bell.
Give us a follow at Living Life Holographic on Instagram and YouTube. And we'll be back with part 2 next.